There's something that tends to happen for a lot of women around Tuesday or Wednesday each week. And it's not that they suddenly forget how to eat or lose motivation or stop caring about their health. What actually happens is much quieter than that. The mental load starts to pile up. The day fills with decisions, responsibilities, conversations, interruptions. And by the time evening rolls around, the last thing your brain wants to do is make one more choice, especially about food. That's usually the moment people assume that they're failing, when in reality, they're just depleted. Most people don't quit a way of eating because they're hungry. They quit because every meal requires thought. What should I eat? Do I have time? Is this the right choice? Am I doing this right? Even when the food is simple, the deciding becomes heavy. And once food starts to feel heavy mentally, it becomes emotional. That's when stress eating, skipping meals, or grabbing whatever's easiest starts to creep back in. Not because you don't know better, but because your nervous system is tired of negotiating. When food is unplanned, it's asking something of you every single time that you open the fridge. It asks for attention, it asks for effort, it asks for discipline. And after a full day of managing life, that can feel like too much. This is why so many people feel amazing at the start of the week and completely unraveled by the middle of it. Nothing changed about their commitment. What changed was the number of decisions required to keep going. This is the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Sustainability has very little to do with willpower and almost everything to do with how many choices your system has to make in any given day. But when food is already decided, already cooked, and already waiting, it stops competing for your energy. It becomes neutral. A neutral food is powerful because it doesn't trigger stress, urgency, or second guessing. It just exists as support. Batch cooking, at least the way that I do it, isn't about being organized or disciplined or even productive. It's about protecting my future self from decision fatigue. It's about making sure that when my brain is tired, food doesn't become another problem that I have to solve. That one shift alone changes how the entire week feels for me every single week now. Once food is no longer a daily decision, or multiple times a day, everything else gets easier. Hunger cues feel clearer, evenings feel calmer, there's less mental chatter around eating and food, and that's the real value of batch cooking. Not the food itself, but the space it creates around the food. Once you understand that the real value of batch cooking is removing decisions, the next concern that usually comes up is time. People imagine an entire Sunday lost to the kitchen, counters covered in containers, and a level of effort that feels like another job. If that was the case, I would skip it too. But that's not what I'm doing, and it's not what makes this sustainable for me. My entire carnivore batch cooking routine takes about an hour and a half, and most of that is passive time for the baking or cooling. The oven is doing almost all the work. I'm not standing there micromanaging food. I'm simply setting things up so they can cook while I can focus on something else. What makes this work is that I'm not cooking one thing at a time. I'm overlapping. While one pan is baking, another is prepped to go into the oven next. And while something is cooling, something else is baking. There's no rush, no pressure, and no sense that I have to be on the entire time. This isn't meal prep as a performance. It's more like setting up the house so future me doesn't have to think very hard. And that has been a layer of my carnivore lifestyle that has been a game changer. I also keep the foods themselves very simple and very familiar. That's intentional. On Sundays, I'm not usually experimenting. I'm not trying new flavors. I'm sticking with what I already know. I'm making foods that I already know feel good in my body and that I won't have to convince myself to eat later in the week. That alone removes a huge amount of friction before it even shows up. Variety is also important to me, so I make sure that I have several things that I know that I love. For me lately, that means a pan of ground hamburger and egg cups that come together quickly and bake while I'm doing other things. It means a large pan of boneless chicken thighs seasoned simply and cooked all at once for the week. It also means a batch of browned butter custard and browned butter bites. These aren't meals assigned to specific days. They're just a variety of fat and protein that I can reach for when I need it. When food is already cooked, it doesn't require planning. It doesn't require negotiation. It's just there and available. The biggest shift for you watching this is realizing that batch cooking doesn't have to be detailed or perfect to be effective. You don't need color-coded containers or a spreadsheet. You need food that's done. That's it. Food that's familiar. Food that removes effort later. When the hardest part of eating well, deciding, is already handled, consistency stops feeling like something that you have to force. By the time Sunday evening rolls around, the work is already finished. Not because I pushed harder, but because I set things up in a way that respected my energy for the week to come. And that's really the theme here. It isn't about cooking more, it's about thinking less. When Sunday evening is calm and simple, the rest of the week follows that lead. Now I want to clarify something here. One of the biggest mistakes people make with batch cooking is assuming that they need to decide everything in advance. Monday lunch, Tuesday dinner, Wednesday leftovers. That kind of structure looks organized on paper, but in real life, it usually backfires. When food is pre-assigned, it creates pressure. If your appetite doesn't match the plan or your day doesn't unfold the way you expected, suddenly the food that you carefully prepared feels wrong. That is when frustration creeps in, and frustration is what turns good intentions into burnout. I did this for so many years, and it wasn't until recently that I realized what part of it was creating the friction. I don't batch cook meals. I batch cook ingredients. That distinction is subtle, but it is everything. Ingredients give you options. Meals give you rules. When food is flexible, you can adapt how you actually feel that day or in the moment instead of forcing yourself to override your hunger or energy just to stick to a plan that you made days earlier. I don't know about you, but I want to be able to grab something that I feel like I'm in the mood for, not something that I told myself that I had to eat earlier in the week. When I open the fridge during the week, I'm not looking at instructions. I'm looking at possibilities. There's cooked fat and protein ready to go, and I can decide in the moment what makes sense. Maybe it's eggs, maybe it's chicken, maybe it's something warm, or maybe it's something quick. The key is that the decision is very small. I'm not starting from scratch. I'm choosing between things that are already done and ready. And that matters more than people realize, especially midweek. By Wednesday, your nervous system has already processed hundreds of micro decisions. When food shows up as another demand, even a small one, it can tip the scale. But when food is neutral and flexible, it becomes supportive instead of draining. This approach also prevents food boredom in a very natural way. When nothing is locked in, you don't rebel against your own prep rules. You're not stuck eating something just because you decided it was the plan or the meal at any given time. You're simply choosing from what's available and ready, and that keeps food from feeling controlling or repetitive, even when the food themselves are familiar. There's also something important happening here that goes beyond convenience. This kind of flexibility teaches your body to trust that food will be available when it's needed. That trust reduces urgency. It reduces the feeling that you need to eat now or overeat just in case. Over time, that alone can change how hunger shows up during the week. When batch cooking is done this way, it supports regulation instead of rigidity. It creates consistency without pressure, and it allows eating to stay responsive instead of reactive. That's why this system lasts, not because it's strict, but because it adapts to real life. What most people don't realize is that the hardest time of day for eating well isn't morning or even midday. It's evening. Maybe you've experienced that. By then, your body is tired, your brain is tired, and your tolerance for friction is very low. Even small decisions can feel overwhelming. That's why evenings are where so many people feel like things fall apart, even when they did everything right earlier in the day. But when food is already cooked, evenings feel different, very different. There's no internal debate about what to make. There's no negotiation about whether it's worth the effort. There's no sense of pressure to figure something out while you're already depleted. You open the fridge and there's lots of options already prepared, and the moment passes without stress. That might sound small, but it's not. That moment is where the most consistency is either reinforced or it's lost completely. This is where batch cooking stops being about food and starts being about emotional safety. This is also why I include things like butter bites or browned butter custard in my batch cooking, not as treats and not as rewards, but as reassurance. They're there so food never feels scarce or conditional. When your body knows that there's enough, you don't feel the same pull to overeat or search for something else later. You stop eating from anxiety and start eating from actual hunger. A little side note here. I never keep anything in the house that I don't want to eat. That way, if I've waited too long to eat, if my blood sugar is low enough to be craving something carby, the option to grab something that I don't want isn't even available, ever. So it's never even a consideration anymore. There's a subtle but powerful shift that happens when you trust that food is handled. You stop scanning for it mentally. You stop racing for the evening decision. That frees up energy for other things: rest, connection, winding down, all the things that really matter just as much for our health as what's on our plate. This is why simplicity works so well here. Familiar foods, familiar rhythms, no surprises. When eating feels predictable in a good way, your body responds by calming down. And when your nervous system is calm, everything else is, including digestion, appetite, consistency. Everything just works better. At this point in my carnivore lifestyle, the biggest difference between how I eat now and how I used to eat isn't actually the food itself. It's the absence of mental noise. Food no longer occupies the same amount of space in my head. I don't spend the week wondering if I'm doing this right, if I'll stay on track, or if I'll have the energy to figure something out later. That freedom didn't come from stricter rules or even more motivation. It came from a system that carries me when I'm tired. This is also why batch cooking, done this way, feels very different from dieting. There's no constant self-monitoring. There's no sense of being watched by your own expectations. The food is there, whether the day went well or it did not. That consistency builds trust. And over time, something else really important happens. You stop thinking about food as something that you have to control, and it becomes something that you can just rely on. Hunger cues get cleaner. Cravings lose their urgency. Eating becomes quieter, and that quiet is what allows consistency to happen naturally, without force. This is why I always come back to this system instead of motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Energy, it fluctuates. Life gets busy. This is a system that removes friction and keeps working even when everything else is loud. That's the difference between something that you can do for a few weeks and something that fits into your life long term. Batch cooking isn't about copying what I eat or doing the exact way that I do it. It's about understanding the principle underneath it. Reduce decisions, keep food familiar. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Not perfection, not intensity, just a way of eating that feels calm, steady, and supportive no matter what the week brings. If there's one thing that I hope you take from this video, it's that eating well doesn't have to feel heavy to be effective. You don't need more rules, more structure, more effort. You need fewer decisions and a system that supports you on days when energy is low and your life is full. Batch cooking done simply isn't about doing more. It's about letting food stop being something that you have to think about so much. You don't have to do this perfectly. Even small steps towards reducing friction matters. When food decisions feel calmer, everything else has more room to settle too. And that's more than enough to keep moving forward. If you have found a rhythm that keeps food simple in your life, I'd love to hear what that looks like for you, or where things still feel hard. Feel free to share in the comments. I read every single one and I love to hear from you. And as always, be good to yourself, be good to others, and keep loving life over 50.